going on? How's everyone doing?
Shout out to Colin. Everybody else who's cool with Colin.
Chunky! I didn't say.
Get your popcorn and your Coca-Cola and relax.
Anyway, tell Colin I'm ready.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a great day so far. Happy Wednesday. All right. Apparently, I made a big mistake earlier today. I was debating taking a jury trial I was watching live. I set it up, I launched it, and then I deleted it right after I launched it. But I only deleted it from StreamYard. I didn't realize it was still up on YouTube. When I jumped in, somebody said, I think it was Toby. I'm going back to read real quick. I think it was Toby. Yeah, is this gonna be like the earlier one? Yeah, I didn't realize that if I delete it on StreamYard, it doesn't delete it from YouTube. So I just deleted, and I only had it up for maybe 30 seconds on StreamYard before I was like, nah, this is just jury selection. This is boring. People don't want to watch this. So I deleted it. And yeah, so I'm sorry about that, guys. I didn't realize. It's a lesson learned, and hopefully you guys didn't hang out there too long. I had no idea that was still up, so I do apologize. Also, let's see what else. I The jury trial for that does start tomorrow, and I may play it. It all depends. Now, you got to remember, it's a homicide trial, and the Sav Sit is actually letting his attorney talk for him. So if that's how it's going to be for most of the trial, I'm probably not going to air it because it's just another murder trial, and I don't want to watch that. I don't like watching those kind of trials. I really don't. But it depends how interesting it is, so I'll keep an eye on it, and I'll keep you updated. All right, let's get on to tonight's show. I have got a couple clips for you. I've also got a random bonus clip. Do you guys remember the Sugar Daddy clip I played out of Judge Garcia's court? This is about 2 or 3 months ago. It was kind of a weird, funny, disgusting type of clip. He was in court again today. It was only for about 3 minutes though, and I found it after I made my video for tonight. So I'm gonna play that at the end, so we can see what that guy's up to. And yeah, he's still up to the same stuff. All right, I'm rambling. Let's go. First clip is Judge Greenwald, I think. This is a judge I don't cover a lot. I watch her almost every day. She's super nice. And yeah, she just doesn't always have, really exciting cases. So I don't usually grab them, but this one was good. This one was good. You'll enjoy it. Before I hit that play button, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. Let's go.
And good morning. Hello, Ms. Fable-Webb, if you could unmute. Okay, we're calling the matter of the City of East Lansing versus Jennifer Fable-Webb, case number 24-03080T. We are set today for a adjourned sentencing hearing. May I have appearances, please, for the record?
Good afternoon. Good morning, Your Honor. Robert Easterly on behalf of the city.
Melissa Vachon on behalf of Ms. Fable-Webb, who appears separately by video.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Fable-Webb, can you please confirm, are you able to hear and see me and the attorneys?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Jennifer Fable-Webb.
So we are here for an adjourned sentencing hearing, our last sentencing hearing. Ms. Fable-Webb raised an issue as to her information she received about the length of her driver's license suspension. We adjourned the hearing for her to talk to counsel and consider a motion to withdraw plea. I'll begin with you, Ms. Vachon. Where are we at in terms of that consultation?
Yes, Your Honor. I think prior to entering the plea, the consequences we discussed are that it either be a like period or 30 days if not definite. And that is outlined in MCL 257.904. Due to the information Ms. Fable-Webb received from the Secretary of State, she was under the impression that she was eligible for a permit and not serving any definite length of revocation or suspension. Subsequently, she received a notice that her license is now revoked until 2029. I don't think it would be in her best interest to withdraw her plea today. However, she would like to do so. So I believe that under the court rule 6.310, if the court would allow her to make her own motion to withdraw her plea, I think the court could find grounds to do so. Would be against my advice though, but she does want to continue with plea withdrawal.
Okay, Ms. Fable-Webb, you've heard what your lawyer just told me, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and is what she telling me accurate?
I know she said that there was other consequences of obviously what could happen. I didn't realize it was totally against her advice. But I did hear her say that there could be other lengthy issues. However, when I did take that plea, I did be referenced to being only suspended for 30 more days. So that's why I had really based this on that. And when I got that information, I thought, if there's anything I can do to work around this so I can get my license, because this will disqualify me again for so long and put me right back in the same issue, I'd be indebted and grateful for sure so I can get that done.
Okay,
Continue to do that.
and you understand, of course, Ms. Vachon has no power or authority to offer you a plea agreement or change that. That is through the city of East Lansing. And so
I do now understand that. I didn't quite understand how it was working before.
okay, but now you do understand. So if you withdraw this plea, Ms. Vachon will not be the person who will be offering you anything. It again is the city of East Lansing.
Correct.
Okay, would it be helpful to the parties? The court has reviewed Ms. Fable-Webb's driving record, and I can offer, again, not any legal advice, but I can offer the information that has been provided to me. And Ms. Fable-Webb, then you could have more information to base this decision.
Okay.
Okay, so Ms. Fable-Webb, you are revoked. And your driver's license is revoked because of your having 3 operating while intoxicated offenses within 10 years. Okay, so you understand that, right?
That it was revoked, yes.
Yes, okay. So then when you are revoked and you continue to drive and you have another traffic offense, that what was a 1-year revocation period turns into a 5-year revocation period.
Okay.
Okay, and for my information, we have this case here where you entered a plea, and that's what we're talking about today. And the disposition date is October 11th of 24. And so because of that plea, you were revoked and you entered another plea to a traffic violation that turned a 1-year revocation into a 5-year revocation.
Right.
Okay. However, Ms. Fable-Webb, also, after you entered this plea, you also pled guilty in another court, in the 78th District Court in Baldwin, to another traffic violation. And so that also, on its own, would have turned, well, I'm looking at the information right here, Ms. Fable-Webb.
Never pled guilty to anything there.
On November 27th, so after this case, November 27th of 2024, you haven't had any court dates, and
I just had an arraignment for that, and it was for allowing this non-licensed driver to operate. It wasn't a driving on suspended, is what I was understood, and I did not plead guilty to that.
It was a failure to signal and or observe, and it was a plea of guilt. And again, this is per the Secretary of State's records.
I just seen them, and I did not plead guilty with that. And they told me that the charge was it wouldn't even go to the Secretary of State. However, I do understand, but I did not plead guilty to that. I just seen them. I just had an arraignment. So there was no plea. I have to go back to them.
You
And
definitely
they
need
told
to
me
go
it
back
was,
to them.
yes, they said that it was a drive, allowing an unlicensed or suspended driver to drive a motor vehicle.
Did you
That's
have
what
an
they're saying.
attorney in that case?
I do not yet. They have a attorney set up for arraignment hearings, they said. I made sure I was aware because I seen that they had used an attorney, but they do that for the arraignments to get the arraignment process to help each side understand what the charges are and whatnot. But I never put a plea in. I haven't got an attorney yet. And I told them that, if this is the charge and this is that, then I would just represent myself. So I wouldn't have to, further get any, another attorney involved or any of that because of what they stated that the charge was. And
Okay, so none of that is making sense from the information, the record I have before me. So there's a significant
yeah, we need to check into
issue
that
with
because
the
I have a
78.
witness. I have a witness right with me here that can tell you that I did not enter a plea and I was just there to be arraigned.
Okay, so, and that's relevant because as I was explaining, this case in Baldwin would have, again, on its own, irrespective of our case here today at 54B, would have converted a 1-year revocation to a 5-year revocation. So if that case in Baldwin stands per the information that I have in front of me, well, you don't have, I mean, it doesn't help to keep saying no. It's what I have in front of
I
me.
never took a plea and they told me it wouldn't go to Secretary of State.
Okay.
That's exactly what they said.
Okay, so if Ms. Fable-Webb is correct and this can get fixed, then the case here does matter. Then this case is what is going to convert a 1-year revocation to a 5-year revocation.
Correct.
So, Ms. Vachon, do you want to comment on any of that information?
And I just note that while this case was pending, Ms. Fable-Webb was told that she was eligible to get a permit and then a license by the Secretary of State, which is inconsistent with being revoked. So I'm not sure if there's some confusion with Secretary of State and the driving record. I just don't see how a withdrawal here would help the situation. I'm concerned that it would be sent for a driving while license suspended second, and that is my main reason for advising against a withdrawal.
And that would be through Ingham County, correct?
Yes, I do understand that she does want to withdraw her plea, and I think court could allow her to do so.
Okay, but if I have no idea, but if Ms. Fable-Webb, I'm talking to Ms. Vachon now. If Ms. Fable-Webb is correct and this case in the 78th District Court is not a conviction, then this case, our case, is what is converting a 1-year revocation to a 5-year revocation. And I think we can all agree that that is a significant prejudice to Ms. Fable-Webb. I mean,
I don't agree with that at all, Judge.
Okay.
And I'd like to be heard. There are a couple of things I'd like to address, and I think the court adjourned this and specifically asked that the city attorney be here.
All right, sorry, I let that play for a long time, guys. Yeah, I just got distracted with some news that I couldn't ignore. I am really distracted. I do apologize. This prosecutor comes in like a wrecking ball right now. You got to hear what he says. He's like, nope, not playing this game. Nope,
To address a number of things, and so I'd like to take the opportunity to do that right now. The first thing I'd like to point out is the procedural history here. This case was filed in May of this year. She was arraigned in June of 2024. She failed to appear for a pretrial late June. Bench warrant was issued. She later appeared in July for an arraignment. That bench warrant was canceled. To my knowledge, there weren't any sanctions for that. A couple of days after that, Ms. Fable-Webb contacted the court.
You mean in September 12th? When the bench warrant was?
No, Judge. That would be June 27th. She failed to appear for a pretrial. July 18th, she appeared for an arraignment, and the bench warrant was canceled. A couple of days later, she telephoned the court to request the date and time of her next hearing, which is a little bit strange because she had just been here a couple of days prior to that. On August 15th, a pretrial was held, which does not require personal appearance per the policy of this court. It was set for a final pretrial. On September 9th, a pretrial was held and the defendant failed to appear and a bench warrant was issued. She later contacted the court and indicated that was due to a family emergency. The court asked her to appear the next day. She informed the court that she could not. The court then said that the bench warrant would remain until she did appear. However, 2 days later on its own, the court canceled the bench warrant. I don't believe there was any sanctions tied to that.
Because she provided proof of her mother's death.
Thank you. On October 11th, it was set for a final pretrial, but a plea hearing was held. On November 13th, she failed to appear for a sentencing. On November 14th, an arraignment on the bench warrant was held. I don't believe there were any sanctions for that. On November 20th is the last hearing that occurred, and which is why we are here today. I'd like to point out, first of all, and I did order the transcript for that. The court indicated on page 3 that we set the sentencing out for Ms. Fable-Webb to make efforts at clearing her license. That is not why the sentencing was set out. I was at the plea hearing, and what I requested was that there be a PSI for her sentencing hearing because of her very, very significant criminal history. That is why a sentencing was adjourned. There wouldn't have been any point, from my perspective, for a sentencing to be adjourned for her to continue to try to get a license. She'd already entered a plea. Further, as I had already advised Ms. Vachon a couple of times that I know factually that Ms. Vachon had also advised Ms. Fable-Webb, she had been, her license is revoked, and it's not for a 1-year period. And I just want to place into the record here exactly what we're talking about. She has 6 prior OWI offenses. She has 4 prior DWLS offenses that I can tell. She has 2 prior failed to stop and identified for for property damage accidents, and she has at least 4 prior controlled substance convictions that are not OWI related. As a result of that, and I don't know exactly what this court's experience is with, and I do license revocation several times a year. She is revoked indefinitely. When Ms. Vachon at our very first pretrial, when Ms. Vachon informed me that Ms. Fable-Webb told her that she had a meeting coming up soon with the Secretary of State, I informed her via email, and several times thereafter that was likely impossible based on what her history is. She would have needed to been fully engaged in a license restoration process. Having done both defense and prosecution work, I understand sometimes even with the best of advice, clients are not completely honest with where they are. And so what we did, grant several adjournments for there to be progress made. I think that Ms. Fable-Webb has been disingenuous with this court along the way in terms of what her progress has been. I think she's been so with her attorney, but that's, I don't know what I can do about that. But to the extent that we adjourned this for her to try to go get another license, that's not what occurred. I'd also like to address that.
Well, Mr. Easterly, you were at the plea, correct?
I was indeed.
And the court did not order a PSI.
From what my recollection is, the court asked if we were ready to move to immediate sentencing or if there was any reason that sentencing should be set out. And I said, to my recollection, that it should be set out for the court to review this case.
Okay. Well, a PSI was definitely not ordered. It was not stated on the record, and then sentencing was adjourned out to review this case, and it was set for remote sentencing. Okay.
And so then again on the 20th, it looks like, Ms. Fable-Webb made this statement to the court about a 2028 date. I'm not quite sure where that came from, but the court also asked at that time whether or not she had a license. I think that's probably the first time that I've experienced. I guess the court maybe didn't have a copy of her driving record at that time.
I have it now, and I did verify that that's what the Secretary of State said what was going to happen with this plea, and 2029 was the correct date. And I
the court asked, and I'm referencing page 7 of this transcript. The court asked Ms. Vachon if, in her experience, that this is a typical resolution. And again, the plea that the court had already taken was for her to plead guilty to a DWLS first, and the city would dismiss a civil infraction. Now, whether or not it's a typical resolution, we don't have those. It's based on a case-by-case basis, although there's kind of a plea matrix we use from. We have to look at the specifics of each case. And in a case where a person is revoked indefinitely based on 6 OWI-related offenses and continuing to drive thereafter with multiple DWLSs, I think that what was offered to her was absolutely fair and appropriate.
What is your goal, Mr. Easterly? What you brought up all of these failures to appear, and she wasn't sanctioned, and what do you want? Just let me ask the question. What do you want the court to do? Are you asking for Ms. Fable-Webb to be incarcerated?
The first thing that I would ask the court to do, I know based off of its recent invocation, the court is aware of the judicial canons. I point to judicial canon 312 that a judge should avoid interruptions of counsel in their arguments. So I'd like to get through this. The court asked for me to be here today. There's a record that the court made making requests of the city attorney to make explanation of what it is that was going on with this plea, and that is what I would like to do.
Okay, and I just want to say I never asked for a procedural history of Ms. Fable-Webb's failures to appear, and don't really see the relevance of that. We're trying to get to the matter of Ms. Fable-Webb is maybe requesting to withdraw her plea, and what is the city's position?
That's not where I'm at right now, Judge. Thank you. May I continue?
And where are you at in terms of, you want to explain the plea offer? You want to explain your plea offer?
I'm addressing what this court addressed in my absence of the last hearing, and specifically asked and referred to that the city attorney explained. Is that correct?
Explain the plea offer.
So this court asked whether or not this was a valid plea, and I guess I'm not sure what that means. The court took the plea according to the Michigan rules of court. We were at a time that was scheduled for sentencing, and so I guess I'm not totally sure what it is that the court was asked. So a valid
plea needs to be made on accurate information. And so that would be referring to Ms. Fable-Webb had raised an issue at sentencing that she did not receive accurate information about what significant consequence of her plea. Her attorney was present. This would have to do with the relationship between counsel, defense counsel, and defendant, not the city. And a valid plea would be one that was not based on accurate information.
So it's again to that point.
Doc, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Yeah, Doc, I've been waiting to see your name pop up. Thank you so much for the very generous donation to the gas fund for my trip last week. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you. And while I have this pause, real quick, guys, I again apologize for I'm not really paying attention to this video. I've already seen it, so I know what's going on. I told you guys I got some news. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for messaging me to check on me. I'm fine. Nothing's wrong with me. I got news that somebody passed away, and I've been kind of distracted a little bit. It's not my news to share. It is a friend of the channel. You guys will hear about it soon, but it's not my news to share, so I'm not gonna blow that news out. I'm not gonna break that news. It's gonna come out soon. And when that does, I'll make a statement on it. But right now, I'm not going to. So please respect that. I please.
From the first pretrial, I advised Ms. Vachon of what her status was. I understand that Ms. Vachon also addressed with her what her status was. Again, I feel like Ms. Fable-Webb's has been disingenuous with counsel and with this court about what her status is. But I also disagree that this is not about the city attorney, because this is. As I look at this transcript, you repeatedly asked that the city attorney be here it's page 9. You said, I think you need to talk to the city attorney. The city attorney needs to explain whether or not this is in line with the policies and procedures that the city of East Lansing wishes it to.
Guys, no, it's not someone who frequents my channel a lot. They used to. I have no idea why, but it's not Mayor. I know you guys, everyone's saying that it is not Mayor. It's someone that you guys would recognize if I said their name, but it's definitely not Mayor. And yeah, again, I shouldn't have said anything because now everyone's going to be wondering who it is. You'll find out soon.
The attorney to follow for their cases, and that you have a very hard time, this court has a very hard time thinking that this is in the interest of justice. Is the court still of that opinion?
The court is first concerned with the information about, is this a plea based on accurate information? And that's why, of course, the city would need to be present and has a right to be heard under the rules, because there is a consideration in terms of interest of justice and any prejudice to the people. So, of course, you would need to be heard. And then, in terms of the plea offer, which was, pleading to the charge with no, agreement or consideration, you have placed on the record.
The consideration was a dismissal of a civil infraction.
And to plead to the charge, you placed on the record what animated that plea offer to you. The court has asked, given that plea offer, what is the city's recommendation for sentencing here? We have a person, and we have had other people before us who are unable to get a valid driver's license. And the city, what the city does in terms of its plea offers has a significant consequence moving forward on how that person may or may not. In Ms. Fable-Webb's case, according to the information I have before me, it may be this conviction, maybe, that will turn 1 year where a revocation where she could apply to a 5-year. And I'm not saying that I have, I'm just telling you what has been provided to me from the Secretary of State.
Yeah, what's provided from the Secretary of State indicates that she is revoked indefinitely, and that, again, that's based off of 6 prior OWI offenses. She would have to go through a revocation, through a reinstatement process that is not a year out at this point. From the city's perspective, we have a person who clearly has a significant substance abuse problem, who clearly continues to operate on the roads of our streets. And so, what is the city? Do I feel that this was a fair plea agreement? I do. If she wishes to withdraw her plea, then what my recommendation will be is to send this through ICPO for a DWLS second, which will result in a higher sanction on her license.
Real quick, this defendant, 6 DUIs, multiple driving while suspended or revoked. She thinks she's getting her license back. She took a plea deal, and realized that it was not it's gonna hurt her to get her license back. So she wants to take it back, take her plea deal back, and yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. So the city attorney's like, she's got 6 DUIs. I'm not going to be any nicer to her. Like, he is throwing the book at her for good reason. Like, she should be in jail. 6 DUIs? And didn't he say she got 3 in 1 year? Jesus, lady.
I don't have 6 OWIs, and I haven't gotten in any trouble, and I haven't on my record that I did obtain from the Secretary of State in 2020, which I was told I would be able to get a restricted license, and things had been changed in my record, and so I I obtained a copy of my driver's record. I do have the appeals court going through my application now, because that's what I was told I had to do after I was told I wouldn't have to do that before, and now I was told I have to do that. So I'm just still trying to do all the avenues, and I have not been in trouble and done anything, and I am not under any substances, and I have been clean for quite some time, and I do not have 6 OWIs. So I think that there is some, and there's some different other information. I was there for one of the meetings, and I had been calling and talking with the court all that morning when my first sentencing hearing was established. So I was there to be attended. I showed proof to the court that I was there. Before
I
that,
think we've already addressed all of
Yeah,
them.
that's not relevant. You're here today.
Yeah, I grabbed a case a couple weeks ago where a guy got 2 DUIs in one day, but it wasn't just the 2 DUIs in one day that made it unique. He got 2 crashes. One happened at like 6 a.m. He got a DUI crash at 6 a.m., taken to jail, released, got another DUI crash like I don't know, 12 hours later in the evening. I still have that somewhere. I didn't delete it, but it was just that was one of those cases like I don't even know if I want to play this. Man, people.
And we're
Okay.
going to move forward. I would note the last controlled substance crime that I see is from 2020.
That was, and it was prior to that I was convicted, but I was charged before that. So it was even a year and a half route before that.
Right.
And it was a prescription medicine that was not
Ms.
no
Bobber,
longer
we don't have to get
was
into
outdated.
details of it.
Definitely not.
Okay.
So again, Ms. Fable-Webb, the motion that is being considered is, well, if you are making a motion, are you making a motion to withdraw your plea? Apparently that is against the advice of Ms. Vachon. And, I'm happy if you want to talk to Ms. Vachon for a moment to review any of this new information that's been provided. But once again, what I have, and this is both based on the Secretary of State's record and also consultation with a liaison at the Secretary of State, that it is the 2 cases, our case here and a case in Baldwin, that is converting what would be the 1-year revocation before you could even begin to reapply and go through, even start that process, to a 5-year revocation. So, Ms. Vachon, do you have any questions about that? And do you wish to talk to Ms. Fable-Webb?
I wish to talk to her, yes.
Okay, so we're going to place you both in a breakout room, and then we can come back on the record.
Oh, I thought I edited this out. You guys are welcome. I really did think I edited that though. Edited it. At least my fast forward skills are on point. All right, before they get back into it, I do want to make sure to shout out Mary. Mary, thank you so much. Bags of M&Ms for each of my friends here. Happy virtual Christmas. Thank you so much, Mary. I appreciate it.
And we're back on the record in City of East Lansing versus Jennifer Fable-Webb, case number 24-03080T. Ms. Vachon has returned from the breakout room with Ms. Fable-Webb. Ms. Vachon, how are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor, Ms. Fable-Webb still wishes to make a motion to withdraw her plea. She's aware of the potential consequences of that. I just want to make clear that I think there is a misunderstanding of the Secretary of State information. Ms. Fable-Webb believes that she will be eligible to take her permit test, which from what the court is stating, I don't believe that to be accurate. However, that's what she was told when we entered the plea. Informed her that it'd be either a like period or 30 days, and she believed that at that time she was not revoked and she was eligible to take her permit test, get her license, and go from there. I think she would need, if she was revoked, she would need to do the reinstatement hearing process, which would take a longer time. However, she was told that she is eligible.
Nada, Brad, I hope you're doing as best as you possibly can. Thank you for letting me know. I did not break the news. You don't have to say anything. It's not my news to share. So I did say that someone passed away though, and I am very appreciative that you took the time to get my attention and let me know. So thank you so much for that.
Eligible to take the permit test and then get her license.
Okay, Ms. Fable-Webb, you've heard what your lawyer told me, correct? And we may have lost, oh, there she is.
Sorry, there was a glitch. I'm sorry.
Okay, you're back. Did you hear what Ms. Vachon told me?
I did not get to hear, Your Honor. I'm sorry. I did not get to hear the very end part, but I did hear throughout most of everything to be accurate, but I never knew about the indefinite or 30-day. I didn't know that was that I just was told the 30 days. So that's what I was understood. Besides, I did talk with the Secretary of State, and I do have some stuff that I did get from the Secretary of State also saying what my license would have been.
Okay, so Ms. Vachon reports that you would like to make a motion to withdraw your plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and that is for the reason that it's your position that it was based on inaccurate information that you received about the consequence of this plea on your driver's license.
Correct.
And we're looking at the court rule MCR 6310 B, withdrawal after acceptance but before sentencing. What is the city's position? Mr. Easterly, the city's position?
Say that one more time, Judge.
What is the city's position in response to Ms. Fable-Webb's motion?
I think I've already expressed my response. If she wishes to withdraw her plea, that's I leave that to the court. I feel like this was avoidable. I don't think that's what Ms. Fable-Webb was initially requesting. I think that that was suggested by this court. I also think that we are in a place of recharacterizing what was stated on the record at the previous hearing, which I think is unfair both to the city, to Ms. Vachon from what I'm reading, and now is going to result in possibly a very different scenario from Ms. Fable-Webb. So I defer to the court on her withdrawal.
Okay. I'm not understanding that response. Either you object to the motion or you agree with the motion, or you're just saying, can you focus on the motion and you're just saying you leave it to the court's discretion?
I'll leave it to the court's discretion. Which part are you saying you don't understand that I'm saying?
Just that, I asked for the city's response to a motion, and that whole, I didn't understand your response. So, but now I do. You're leaving it to the court's discretion. And Ms. Fable-Webb, a plea can be withdrawn on a motion only in the interest of justice and may not be withdrawn if the withdrawal of the plea would substantially prejudice the prosecutor. Because reliance on the plea, the city is saying that that is not applicable here. They're not claiming any prejudice. What I understand is the city is saying that if you withdraw your plea, that this can be charged as a more serious offense. So the city is not claiming prejudice to the city, but arguably could be prejudice to you. You understand that?
I do understand. I believe I do understand.
Okay, so
I don't
instead,
believe she understands, Judge.
I guess.
Ms. Fable-Webb, instead of being charged with a 93-day misdemeanor, you could be charged with a 1-year misdemeanor.
I do understand that.
Okay, and you wish to withdraw your plea understanding that?
I do still, because of there not being clearance throughout this whole situation, and I would like to make sure that I get that resolved along with the court, and I'm just asking for that ability to be able to do that. So there's no miscommunication, no missing of court hearings, no nothing, just get it, the communication, show the proof of which I seen and what I was told and get done what I am trying and have been wishing and hoping to do, so.
Okay, so with that, the motion will be granted. And Ms. Fable-Webb, that means that this would typically be set for a pre-trial. At this
Yeah, that the jury trial starts tomorrow. They finished picking the jurors today, so that starts tomorrow. I don't know if you were here earlier, Luke, when I announced that I haven't decided if I'm going to go live with that. It might not be as interesting as we hope, just because the defense attorney is doing all the talking right now. So I'm going to see how tomorrow starts before I decide if I'm going to go live with it. But yeah, I don't know yet, but it's going to be. I think it's going to be good.
trial, as has been noted, it's possible that this will be referred to a different prosecutor that would have the authority to charge a more serious offense, the 1-year misdemeanor. So you will take note of that, but we'll get a date for the pretrial, Ms. Horn.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so the pretrial will be on January 9th at 1 o'clock. And Ms. Vachon, will you be submitting an order granting the motion to withdraw plea?
I can, Your Honor, I can submit one if required. I just do not agree with the motion.
Understood, but I think Ms. Fable-Webb was fully advised here, and yes.
Yes.
So with that, that is all for this case. Anything further from the city?
Not at this time.
And anything further from you, Ms. Vachon?
No, Your Honor.
All right, let's move on, guys. Let's move on. Yeah, again, wasn't paying attention to that case at all. As you guys now know, yeah, that's why I was distracted. So sorry, my commentary had nothing to do with the video, but it was still a good clip. All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to Judge Simpson. Yeah, this is exactly how you. This is words. Words are hard. This is how you don't talk to Judge Simpson, especially when you're over Zoom. Let's go.
Court does call the case, People versus Nathulian Mason.
National Money for the People. Good morning, this is Public Defender Lauren Kearney on behalf of Ms. Mason.
Ms. Mason?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. I also need you to turn on your camera if you would.
It says unable to access camera. So I was to do that. So okay, so I'm already. It's telling me to go to my settings. I don't understand. I'm gonna try to do it. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna try.
Ma'am, are you over on International Drive?
Yes, sir.
All right. Because the problem I have here is that she's got a felony that she needs to be arraigned on.
Yes, sir.
New charges, Gunner, or
Yes.
benchmark? Oh, okay.
A new charge. So, ma'am,
What new
here's what I'm
charge?
gonna do.
Wait a minute.
I'm
What
gonna
new
move.
charge?
I'm sorry.
What new charge?
You have a new retail fraud first degree charge.
From where? From what?
Well, ma'am, first of all, that is one of the reasons I need a camera.
I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get it fixed. I don't know how to
okay.
do it. I don't.
Okay, Miss Mason, I'm going to solve this problem because what I'm
Okay.
going to do is I'm going to pass this case that you're supposed to appear on today, and I'm going to order that you appear at court today at, not the next one.
I don't even have a way to get there, first of all.
Well, it's International Drive. Start hoofing it. What?
Oh, no.
11 o'clock. So 11 o'clock, I'm ordering you to appear at court. I'm going to pass all of your cases. You got to be here. Otherwise, I'm issuing a warrant.
I don't have no, my Judge Simpson, my Achilles tendon is torn. I cannot walk down there, first of all. I'm trying to get this camera on.
And I'll call you when I'm done with this time block, okay?
I'm trying to get this camera on. Oh my God, man.
It's okay. We'll see you here in person, okay?
How do we get there?
There's a hearing in Judge Perry's courtroom right now as well. So, Ms. Mason, I would recommend you log on to Judge Perry's and then try to get here. But I'm going to give you a call when I'm on a break, okay?
How am I supposed to get there? I don't have any money. I can't walk. My Achilles tendon is torn. Oh my God.
Ms. Mason,
man.
I recommend that you hop into Judge Perry's Zoom, okay?
You still not telling me how I'm supposed to get there.
Well. I'm not going to respond because I don't think she's going to like my response.
Your Honor, I'm going to
give you an opportunity to call her and they'll figure out a way to get down here. Otherwise, what's going to end up happening is I'll issue a warrant. We'll send somebody to get her. It's really as simple as that. Court now calls the case. People.
All right. Yeah. Judge Simpson, he normally would have responded to all that attitude. And I will say, he did make a comment. I thought I grabbed it. I just looked. I was going to just share my screen and play it. But he made a comment that he's in a really good mood today because of his daughter was there yesterday and left him a really nice letter on his desk, on his bench. So, yeah, she is lucky that that happened yesterday because if that was any other day, he would have gone off on her. Also, I skimmed through the rest of Judge Simpson's docket and I did not find her. I'm going to assume she didn't appear, but I don't know. It was like a 5-hour docket, and I was trying to skim through it to find her, and I could not find her. If someone knows what happened, let me know and let the chat know because I just simply couldn't find it. I was watching the soft sit jury trial, so I was way behind on all my normal courts, so I did not see that. How long have I been live? 47 minutes, 30 seconds, 31 seconds, 32 seconds. That's how long I've been live. Since 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock every night but Saturdays. All right. Next case. I don't even remember what the next case is. What is the next case? Oh, we got Judge Washington. This guy goes from frustrating you to kind of being a hoot. All like every other sentence he says. This is weird. This is just really weird. Judge Washington seems to get the weird ones. All right, let's go.
The court will recall the matter of Ypsilanti Township versus William Riney, case number 24W001960.
Paul Barnett on behalf of the township.
And Kerma Dardush on behalf of Mr. Riney. Mr. Riney, can you unmute and turn on your camera and state your name for the record? There we go.
You hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Riney.
Thank you.
Please state your name, sir.
William Riney.
Thank you. All right, we're here for an adjourned pretrial in this matter.
Yes, Your Honor. I've talked to Mr. Barnett. He has. We've discussed a possible new offer to plead guilty as charged with fines and costs only and restitution reserved for 60 days. Was that a correct statement of your new offer, Mr. Barnett?
It is. It is.
And yeah, my client would like to accept that offer, please, Your Honor.
All right, I'm sorry. You're going to have to state it for me again, please.
So it'd be a plea as charged, a sentence agreement to fines and costs only, restitution to be reserved for 45 days.
Is there a deferred or anything on this one?
Not in this one, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Riney, it's my understanding that you're gonna be pleading guilty as charged to a dog at large charge. That is a misdemeanor carrying a maximum penalty of up to, is that $100 fine on that as well?
It is.
I would absolutely lose it if all of a sudden he's like, "Hold on, Your Honor," puts the phone down, and then you just hear a shot of a gun. Yeah, I just bagged me a buck.
Your Honor, yes.
Up to $100 fine and plus court costs. And you would get fines and costs only, and restitution would be reserved for 45 days. Is that what you want to do, sir?
What does restitution for 45 days mean?
It means that if there is any amount of money that's owed, or apparently there must have been a dog bite or something. If there's
My neighbor's dog came over and viciously attacked my dog in my yard.
Mr. Riney, that's a
I am actually 40 on the dot. I turned 41 in a little over 3 months. My birthday's in March.
that's a different thing. Remember how I said if there wasn't a bite in this case, Your Honor. It was, the dog was just at large. Mr. Riney, remember how I told you that sometimes if there's bites in cases, the prosecutor will reserve restitution to make sure that any hospital bills or anything like that can get paid. And I told you that that's likely not applicable in your case because there is no dog bite.
Yes.
Can I see counsel in a breakout room?
Yes, sir.
Please tell me I remember to do this one. Don't let me go 0 for 2 today. Don't let me go 0 for 2 today. I went 0 for 2. Yep, editing skills at its finest. But I do fast forward this, I believe. Oh, don't worry. We'll wait. We'll wait while Colin gets his stuff together. No, didn't fast forward it at all.
Ending is, sir, that there's no.
All right. So, I mean, I can't say it's bad editing. There's just no editing there. Get to see Judge Washington's high-tech, no one leave court, we're still in session, we're just busy right now sign.
All right, we're back on the record in the Riney.
Yeah, I turned 41 in March. I'm 40 right now.
Matter. Mr. Riney, it appears that there's no restitution that's available or necessary in this particular case, so the restitution is no longer an issue. Are you there? There he is. All right, so the restitution is no longer an issue. You can unmute. I don't know if you're trying to talk to him.
There you go. I say I'm here, but not all here.
Okay. So the restitution is no longer an issue. And so my understanding is, sir, you were made an offer where you could have a deferred sentence, but you had to do a short amount of probation, and then it wouldn't be on your record. You rejected that, and you want to plead as charged, have it on your record, and pay fines and costs only. Is that correct?
Thank you, Mimi. I appreciate that. I hope you're doing well, Mimi. I really do. Thank you so much. Sparkle Foods, thank you. Yeah, I do need to take some, maybe just watch a video. Watch one video on how to properly edit videos. Just one, Thank you, Sparkle and Mimi. Thank you so much. You know who really needs our support right now? It's freaking Lone Wolf. She was his only mod. He never wanted another one because she was always there. She did a good job. He did live streams around her schedule a lot of the times. So after this live, we all need to go over to him and support him because I'm sure that he's pretty shaken up right now. He might not show it, but I'm sure he is. And I've already asked him if he's canceling tonight. And he said no. So we're going to be heading over there after we're finished here. So please, everyone, at least take a minute to jump over there and just wish him well. You don't have to stay long if you don't want to, but if you don't mind, I would appreciate that.
Honor, I hate to sound fickle, but I'm fickled. I'll take the offer of the probation.
All right.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
That's great.
So you're gonna plead as charged with a deferred, and I'm gonna do probation for 45 days, so you know what you're getting. If you complete that time period, pay your fines and costs, then it wouldn't be on your record, okay?
Right.
All right, please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may lower your hand, sir. All right, so I'm gonna go over some rights that you have. You and I'm pretty sure you understand them by now, but you have a right to have a trial by a jury, at which time you can call witnesses to speak for you. You can get an order signed by this court to require that those witnesses come to court. You have the right to see, hear, and question any and all witnesses that are called against you. You have the right to be a witness for yourself, or you could choose to remain silent. If you did choose to remain silent, the prosecutor could not comment on that. In addition to that, you have the right to be presumed innocent unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand those rights, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand you're going to be giving them all up and you're not going to be having a trial of any sort?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand that if you're on probation, parole, or bond, then you could be in violation of that. Were you on any of those at the time of this?
Any of what?
Probation, parole, or bond?
No, hell no.
And then, in addition to that, sir, you understand there's no automatic right to appeal this decision. So the decision you're making today, in all likelihood, is going to stick with you, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor. Excuse me.
That's fine. And if you were, if you're not a U.S. citizen, then you could have immigration consequences, but you are a U.S. citizen, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And then to the charge of having a dog at large, how do you plead?
Plead guilty.
All right. This is when this gets fun, when he gets an opportunity to talk. I'm not going to say it's about to go down. He doesn't say anything too outlandish. He gets really close to the line, though. He really does.
To having a dog on my property at large.
So that we're clear on that particular date, which is, has anyone promised you anything other than what we just placed on the record, get you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone threaten you in any way, shape, or form?
Well, I was told that, if I go to court, might get a lot more treatment. I don't think that's quite fair. I mean, it might be true and everything, but it did feel I was kind of, I don't think that's proper to tell anybody.
All right. So you're saying that you were threatened with the potential of jail time because it's a criminal offense?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd be treated better if I didn't go to court. I don't think that's fair on anybody's case.
Well, you are in court, sir. So
Yes,
what do you want to do?
I made a decision. I'm guilty.
So on or about June 27th, 2024, did you have a dog at the vicinity of 396 Elder was off the leash?
Yes.
All right. I find that there is a factual basis for the plea. It has been willingly and knowingly made. Are you satisfied, Mr. Burnett?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Defense is so satisfied, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, since we already know what we're doing. I don't think he needs to be referred to probation for it. I'm just gonna do it today.
Yep.
All right, anything you want to say on behalf of your client before sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing from the township, Your Honor.
Anything else you want to say, Mr. Rainey?
Yes, Your Honor. My dog is emotionally, I forget what they call it, certified emotional dog.
Yeah, a certified emotional dog. He's certified to be in motion. And you know what they say about dogs that are in motion? They stay in motion unless okay, I want to stop.
There's video I've sent to my lawyer where I was out cutting grass and my dog was in my trailer and a couple walked by with a baby and a dog, and my dog just sat in the trailer and watched them go by. My dog's been trained not to go out of the yard and that. And I like the same justice that Trump gets.
Okay, well, that's all very interesting. So what I'll say is this, Mr. Rainey. The laws in Ypsilanti Township are set up so that there are no gray areas. Pretty much everybody is under the same rules. You have to have your dog on a leash or you're in violation of that law. Your dog was not on that leash, so that makes you in violation of that law. I have no control over what our president-elect's treatment looks like. I can only give you what we got going here in Ypsilanti Township, and that's as far as my jurisdiction goes.
Well, I'm grateful you're the judge here. and you know, I forget what my point was. I understand. You know, in that.
I appreciate that, Mr. Rainey. So the fines and costs in this case are going to be $150. You'll be on probation for 45 days. I'll see you back here on January 22nd, 2025 at 10 o'clock a.m., where if everything is done, you'll be discharged. Be deferred.
I think he said the dog went off of his property. Isn't that what it was? The dog was on his property, but then went off of it, so he got ticketed for it. I don't know. My mind's elsewhere tonight. Remember, I do got one small bonus clip after this, and guy's not finished. He still has more to say.
So you are deferred. Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to say something now that this is over. If I haven't said enough.
You're on probation.
You know, I've helped a lot of people get elected, and I regretted it. But one of the finest people I've ever helped get elected was the prosecutor and you. You know, listen to you deal with people is a real honor. You do it with compassion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rainey. Take care of yourself, sir. I'll see you in a second.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
All right. Was he talking about McDuffie? McDuffie was an assistant, right? She was an APA. I wonder what prosecutor he's talking about. All right. Anyways, before I get into the bonus clip, Gary, thank you so much. Pickles aren't good for editing. They're not. They're not. They're delicious, but they're not good for editing. All right. Let me get this bonus clip up. This is the new update for the Sugar Daddy. For those of you that don't remember, this guy, he goes to a restaurant called Twin Peaks, which I said this last time. I didn't know what that was. I looked it up. I really wish I didn't put that in my Google algorithm or my Google history, but it's a Hooters type restaurant. So he goes to this restaurant and he likes to help the young ladies out financially. And then he takes them to court and sues them apparently when they don't pay him back. So I did a video on this guy it was like 2 months ago, maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and he is back. And there was no doubt in my mind the second he stood up, I knew it was this guy. Same hair. I think it might even be the same shirt. Oh man, this guy. All right, I'm gonna let this video play out. You guys are awesome. We are gonna raid Lone Wolf. Please, 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 everyone go over there. Wish Lone Wolf the best. You know, hang out for a minute. If you can't stay long, don't worry about it, but at least jump over there and say hi and wish him well. I would very much appreciate that. And I know he will too. Okay, let's finish this one up. You guys are awesome. Sob Sit jury trial tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Let's go. Until next time, bye.
Blaze, Mika.
Good seeing you again, Judge.
Good seeing you, Mr. Blaze. Talk to me. What's going on? Well, let me ask you this. Are you ready? Or
I'm ready.
Okay. Talk to you.
I'm asking for judgment for plaintiff for 3,800.
For what?
I got a phone call from Lydia Cruz. I got some. You want a copy or the original?
Well, original's fine.
I'll get it back, right?
Yes.
I got a copy here where I can read it. You can pass that to the judge. Okay. I got it in writing this time, Judge. I'm getting better. And she calls me on this day of this morning of February the 20th. What? Oh, my car. What's going on? You know, somebody's beating you up. Oh, my car. What's going on? They repossessed my car 3 days ago. Last week or whenever. And she said,
Thanks, Otto. I'm gonna pause for you because you said a super sticker right when I ended the stream last night. So thank you for last night and thank you for that one. I appreciate it, bud.
basically, nobody wants to let me drive I don't have a vehicle because everybody took their vehicle away from me. Can you help me get my car? I said, well, how much? $3,800. And I said, well, yeah, that's a lot of money, you know. And then she said, well, I know you got it in your truck. And I go, yeah, I got it in my truck. Got it in all my vehicles I own, that much more.
So you got her to sign the contract?
Yeah. And this right here, this is off the bank off of Wells Fargo. She got to put it in the, you heard this song and dance before. You got to put it in the account first, and where she banks. And then when we pulled out when she was depositing, she would say, hey, release my effing hold so I can tell the repossession company to release it. I got the money in the bank. Y'all can pull it out. And so they released the hold, and that's where we drove next to go get it. You heard this before, this song and dance. This is the first time I've been through this cycle.
Okay.
And so
and you haven't gotten one payment from
I got $100, Judge. I'll pull it up on my phone.
Okay. You did get $100 from her. Okay. So I'm gonna save this contract.
I hate to turn my phone on here.
No, you're fine. So then the default's gonna be for $3,700.
Right.
Okay. Mr. Blaze, I'm telling you right now,
I quit doing it.
you better stop because you're putting yourself in a position that you're gonna be in here a lot and I don't want to see it anymore. You know better.
Hey,
You
Judge,
know what's going on.
right. I'm
So I'm gonna leave that at that.
Hey, Judge, you're gonna be here next week, Wednesday? Because I'm bringing in my bicycle. It's a $2 bicycle, the pedal bike. I need you to see it because they screwed it up. The other side is acting like, hey, I've never seen it, never heard of it. And his attorney works for free because his brother-in-law. So I have to spend thousands of dollars to beat him up. And so I'll legally beat him up. And I'll do it. I have the finances to do it, but it's kind of cute for him to sit there. I don't know nothing, act stupid.
Well, if it's scheduled for next Wednesday, I will be here.
You'll be here in person because I'm bringing my bike and I'm letting the gentleman know it's a.
I should be. I mean, I can't
I'll-
promise you
I'll
anything,
put
but
it over here and I'll let you look at it. They really screwed it up good.
we'll see what happens on that day. Okay. But you stay out of trouble. Swing around here to the right, Mr. Blaze. You know what I'm talking about. Stephanie Martinez.
Your Honor, thank you, Mr. Riney. Thank you, Mr. Barnett.
Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. All right, we have the translator.